If you want to lose 6 pounds in 1 week without starving yourself, dieting, doing any crazy workouts, or even taking a supplement or medication, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I'm Ben Nickness, and I started the Strong Her Solution after I was inspired by seeing my mom's transformation from best mom ever to super mom. And she inspired me to help over 400 women transform into their own versions of super mom as well. Now, to lose 6 pounds in 1 week, it all relates back to the best movie that I've seen in a long time. Maybe you've seen it before. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Last Tuesday was my wife Maria and my date night. And typically what we'll do is we'll cook dinner together. We'll maybe watch a show, watch a movie, play some games, depending on what we're feeling. And last Tuesday, we felt like watching a movie. Now, the reason it was the best movie that I'd seen in a long time is because I don't watch many movies. I have a very short attention span, and it's hard for me to sit still for that long. We were searching Netflix for what felt like 20 minutes before we got tired of it and we just chose the easiest option. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's your typical rom-com. Boy who's a young Matthew McConaughey meets girl who's a young Kate Hudson. They shouldn't fall in love, but by some miracle, of course, they fall in love and live happily ever after. In the movie, Kate Hudson's character, who's Andy, says a famous quote, "You can't lose something you never had." And it made me think, she's right. Of course, you can't lose a guy that you've never had. But the same quote also applies to health. You can't lose weight that you never gained. Now, clearly it was a young Kate Hudson because she had been through menopause and doesn't understand that side of things. You might know what I'm talking about when you go through a day where you barely eat anything. You have a small energy bar for breakfast, you have a salad for lunch, and you just kind of graze for dinner. Yet you still gain weight, and it makes you wonder where your body is even gaining weight from. And if gaining weight from what feels like thin air isn't bad enough, then don't go looking on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, because the amount of fitness advice on there is unreal. Now, I want to put advice in quotes because there are a lot of other words that I could think of for advice in there because it's not always the best information that you get. Now, at first, it can feel like this abundance of information is something that's very helpful, that will help you find the right answer that you're looking for. But unfortunately, it does quite the opposite. You're hoping that that next video that you watch will be the perfect piece of information that you've been missing this whole time. And then you fast forward 60 minutes later and you're still looking for that one elusive video. This was exactly us searching on Netflix, and that's why we ended up with not the best movie ever. Or on the other hand, you're watching a video that's talking all about why you shouldn't do cardio to lose weight, why it's not helpful, until you scroll one video lower and it's the next video telling you how cardio is the secret to weight loss. And now you're confused. What's right? What's wrong? What do you do? It can make you just want to throw your hands up in the air and give up. And this was exactly what was happening with Sondra. She came to me because she had gained 30 pounds over the last year or so. And that 30 pounds did more to her than just show up on the scale. It made her feel very unconfident in herself to where she didn't even want to go out in public with friends, with family. Instead, she became a little bit more of a recluse. She didn't go out in public and she would try to hide herself wearing baggier clothes. And to make matters worse, she was stuck in this same paralysis by analysis loop that we just talked about. She would tell herself, okay, today is the day that I'm gonna get started. And she would pull up YouTube to start looking for a workout, and she would scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, looking for that perfect workout, the one that she needed to do for right where she was at. And she kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until finally she looked at the clock and realized that 45 minutes had passed. She no longer had time to work out, and within that 45 minutes, she could have worked out 2 times already. So frustrated, she closes her laptop, walked to the freezer, and pulled out a pint of stress-relieving ice cream. Now, she recognized that these habits and activities were preventing her from looking and feeling the way that she wanted to. But on the flip side, she didn't know how to fix it. Clearly, she was trying, looking for the workouts, but that wasn't working. All the way until this past week, when on our coaching call, she shared that she had lost 6 pounds in 1 week. She truly couldn't believe it. The look in her eyes was so great to see. And She told me how motivating it was to finally see a positive change moving in the direction that she wanted to go. Feeling like there was hope again, that she could fit back into the clothes that she once wore and feel confident enough to go back out in public with her friends. Now, I want to share exactly what she did to lose the 6 pounds in 1 week so that you can take it and hopefully do the same thing. But before I share that, I want to share something else even a little bit more important. And it's that weight loss is not everything. There are many other pieces to the health puzzle that are just as, if not more important than weight loss. Feeling confident in yourself, better mental health from exercising, your kids complimenting how toned your arms are, you getting up and down off the floor easily after playing with your grandkids, getting your blood work results back, and you no longer have any markers out of range, or your muffin top no longer hanging over the sides of your pants. These are all accomplishments that feel much better and are more important than losing weight. Because at the end of the day, your weight is just simply a number on the scale. But when you felt stuck where no matter what you've done, nothing has worked, and it feels like nothing is ever going to change, this is how it is for the rest of your life, then losing a pound or 6 in Sandra's case can be incredibly motivating to help you reach those other levels of health. So with that said, here's how Sondra lost 6 pounds in 1 week. Number one is she stopped overthinking. She went from spending 45 minutes or more looking for the perfect workout with no luck, leaving her confused, frustrated, and ready to give up, to no longer having to think about it at all. By her and I working together, she no longer has to think about what to do. The program is based on what's right for her fitness level, her goals, as well as what's worked with the 400 women who have went through our program before her. So now she can just simply have the confidence that the program's gonna work and follow along, which is of course the easiest part. The second thing she did is she planned her week ahead of time. Sondra works in a hospital where her hours are constantly changing. She can have 3 days off. She can then work back-to-back 12-hour shifts, finishing up with 3 days of 8 hours in a row. This inconsistency of her schedule has been a big challenge for her in the past. So to help, we sat down together and brainstormed, planned out her meals and her exercises. We went through and planned out her week, Monday through Sunday, what meals she was gonna eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we also went through her schedule, picking the days and times that she was gonna work out, making it that much more likely that she was going to follow through. And even though she's incredibly busy with her work schedule, on top of taking care of her 18-year-old son, she was able to get all of her healthy meals in, as well as exercising, all by consistently planning what she was going to do ahead of time. Number 3 was that she ate foods she enjoys. In the past, Sondra has tried to lose weight many different times. She would load up on chicken salads for a few weeks, she would lose a few pounds, but at some point, she got tired of the salads. At work, they had donuts that were sitting out there, and she didn't have the willpower. She couldn't take it any longer. She went and had one donut. That first donut turned into 2. That second donut turned into 3. She fell off track for that one day, but unfortunately that one day then turned into a week, a month, and so on. All because she thought she had to eat boring, bland food to lose weight. So instead, I gave her a recipe book full of delicious and healthy options. Now, believe it or not, you can have both. And on our coaching call where she mentioned that she had lost the 6 pounds, I asked her, what made the biggest difference for you? And she told me, I look forward to what I'm eating. Even if I'm craving Cheetos, I can go have my meal and no longer want the Cheetos anymore because I enjoy the food that I'm eating that much. So if you're feeling stuck where Sondra was, frustrated that your clothes no longer fit, wanting to hide yourself because you don't feel confident in how your body looks and feels, and ultimately discouraged that it feels impossible to find a solution, then follow her lead. What helped her most was finding a proven plan where the work was already done for her. She didn't have to think about anything, she just had to follow the plan. And the second thing was planning out ahead of time, being proactive, what you're gonna eat, when you're gonna exercise. And the last piece is eating foods that you enjoy so that you can look forward to eating the meals that are going to help you get closer to where you want to be. And ultimately, helping her lose and seeing her lose 6 pounds in 1 week was amazing. But more importantly, she now has a sustainable plan where she can lose the 6 pounds and more and keep that off for a long time to come. Now it's your turn to go remotivate yourself to do the same.